Hi Year 1! Now today in RE we are going to be learning about what happened at the Last Supper. But first, let's have a look at this picture. Who do you think is in the picture here? What do you think is happening? Have a little chat to your grown-up now about those questions. You can pause the video here. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell a story now that's based on a story from the Bible. It's called The Last Supper. Okay. The night before he died, Jesus and his friends went to Jerusalem to celebrate a special meal together. While they were at the table, Jesus took some bread, blessed it, broke it, and shared it out among his friends. He said, "Take and eat. This is my body given for you. Do this in memory of me." Jesus' friends took the bread and ate it, thinking about Jesus and knowing how much he loved them. They did not quite understand what he meant, but they began to think about it. Later, Jesus took a cup of wine. He blessed this too and gave it to them. He said, "Take and drink. This is my blood shed for you." Jesus' friends drank from the cup, wondering what Jesus meant, but glad to be with him. After they had finished supper, Jesus and his friends went to a garden. He was afraid and prayed to his Father. Then soldiers came and arrested him. Now today, people still celebrate this special meal when they gather for Mass. The priest repeats the words that Jesus said at the Last Supper. "This is my body and this is my blood." This is Jesus giving himself to us. Think about these questions. Why was it called the Last Supper? Have a chat to your grown-up. Okay, it was called the Last Supper because it was Jesus' very last meal that he had with his friends, his disciples, before he died. What did Jesus do and say? Can you remember? He said, "This is my body. Take it and eat it. Do this in memory of me." And he also said, "This is my blood. Drink it in memory of me." Now, what food and drink did Jesus and his friends share? Because they obviously weren't actually eating Jesus' body or his blood. It was something that they were using to kind of pretend that it was it. Can you remember what food it was? That's right, it was bread. And do you remember what drink it was? It was wine. What did Jesus ask people to do? Can you remember? He was asking them to eat the bread and remember him, wasn't there? And he was also asking them to drink the wine and remember him that way when he was gone. But obviously they didn't really know what he was talking about at the time because they didn't know he was going to die. So it must have been a little bit confusing for them. Now, during Mass, when we're at church, who does what Jesus did at the Last Supper? Who does the same thing? Think about the people that are important at Mass. It's the priest. The priest does it at the front when we do Holy Communion. And he calls people up, and that's when we drink wine and we eat bread in memory of Jesus dying. Okay, now what I would like you to do is I want you to look at your worksheet and I want you to fill out the speech bubble about what Jesus said at the Last Supper. You can go back to this video and you can remember exactly what he said. I want you to write it in the speech bubble. And I want you to have a chat with your grown-up about what the words mean and why it's important that he had that last special meal with his friends. Because for Jesus, it was his way of saying goodbye, really, wasn't it? Obviously, his friends didn't really know. They weren't sure why they were gathering and why he was saying, "Do this in memory of me." But they knew something was happening. And they did what Jesus asked them to do. Okay, I hope that you've learned a lot today about the Last Supper and why these meals, when we gather together, are so important. Bye!